Hi, my name is Rohan Mitra. I'm a product manager at PhonePe, a Walmart company. Today, I'm here to talk about how the 10-page PRD is dead, but bytecoding your way into production is a recipe for chaos. Today, we are defining the modern AI spec, a decision engine designed to turn our technical ambiguity into high-performing AI products. Good morning, everyone. It's great to be here. Let's dive right in. So let's start with the big question that's been all over our feeds lately. Is the humble but mighty PRD dead? You've probably seen the debates kicked off by leaders like Madhu Guru at Google. He tweeted recently that they're moving from a writing first culture to a building first one. He made a great point, really. Writing used to be a proxy for clear thinking when development cycles were long. But now, when you can write code a prototype in the same time it takes to write a doc, why write? And honestly, at some level, we can all feel this. She old 40-page PRD that sits unread in a folder after that first email, and at best a handoff call. That's probably a thing of the past. But this new build first world has its own set of problems. It can be chaotic. It's easy to fall into the feature factory trap. Build things fast, but not building the right things, or building things that we can't measure. And what you can't measure can't succeed. I'm someone who identifies as a vibe coder myself, and hence I also know firsthand that having the right documentation and specs for both human as well as agentic coding is more important today than ever before. So if the old PRD is too slow and vibe coding alone is too risky, what's the answer? I believe it's a new kind of document, and it's not a manuscript. It's a decision making tool. It's something I call the modern AI spec. So why is the PRD dying? It's because we've seen examples of documents like these. This is what I call the wide space spec. Let's look at the first example. The problem statement has been defined as returns are a big problem. Goal is to improve customers' experience with returns. These aren't decisions, they're wishes. Returns are a big problem for our business. How big? Improve customer experience. By how much? Compared to what baseline? Decrease refund rates. Are there any guardrails around it? Doesn't look like it. Let's look at the other example, which is probably even better. The AI behavior spec is generate helpful replies. Generate helpful replies. What does that even mean? What's helpful for one may not be helpful for another. And my personal favorite, start small, then RAM. There's a masterclass in saying nothing. These documents are full of words, but they are empty of decisions. The ambiguity is the single biggest source of wasted sprints and confused data science teams. The antidote isn't no document. It's a document that forces clarity. And that's what we're here to build. So this is the framework. This is our modern AI spec. It's adapted from the best practices at teams from companies like OpenAI, Meta, and Google, as well as what I use every day at my work. It moves us away from generic requirements and focuses on the 5 specific things that actually make or break AI projects. Number 1, opportunity framing. Why are we even doing this in the first place? Number 2, behavior contract. What does good actually look like? Number 3, evaluation. How do we prove it works even before we ship? Number 4, boundaries and scope. What are the trade-offs we are accepting? What are some non-goals that are out of scope for this? And number 5, risks and recovery. What are the risks? What is our contingency plan? What is our kill switch? We're going to deep dive and demo all of these in a moment, but I want to zoom in on the 2 pillars that are completely unique to AI products, the behavior contract and the evaluation plan. So let's look at the second pillar, number 2, the behavior contract. In traditional software, you write logic. If user clicks button, open modal. In AI, you can't really write logic. You have to describe a personality. If you just write, generate helpful replies, you have failed. Your engineer doesn't know what that means. He doesn't know what to prompt to the AI. The behavior contract solves this with examples. Look at this real example from a smart reply spec. Good, yes, sending by 4 p.m. Brief and actionable. Bad, I will send you the things you asked for. It sounds robotic, probably vague. And reject any mention of confidential project names. This isn't just documentation. This is you, the product manager, defining the soul of the product so that the engineer can tune the model to match it. Next is the evaluation plan. This is the part that usually gets skipped in vibe coding, and it's one of the biggest reasons that products fail. In AI, it works on my laptop means nothing. You need a rigorous way to graduate a feature from an idea to production. In what make it less probabilistic and more objective, deterministic. We call this the evaluation ladder. Step 1, offline. Before we show a single user, we test against a golden set, 500 perfect examples that we align and agree on. Human review. Then we look at the output. Does it feel right? Is it hallucinating? We sort of eyeball it. Step 3 is online guardrails. When we go live, we set guardrails. For example, it doesn't matter how fast the replies are. If the blocked message rate goes up by even 0.3%, we kill the feature. And this is really what the difference is between a prototype and a product. A prototype has vibes. A product has a passing bar. All right, enough talk. Let's put this into practice. Instead of talking about it, let's do it. Remember that smart reply spec that we laughed at? Remember that smart reply spec that we laughed at? The one where the goal was to just improve engagement. We are going to rescue that project. We are going to rewrite that spec right now using our 5-pillar framework. Let me open a new doc. Smart replies, but better spec. All right. So let's fix that broken smart reply spec that we saw earlier. I'm going to start with a blank 5-pillar template. The first step was opportunity framing. So here we clearly call out the user problem first. DM response times, average, whatever, 8.3 minutes. Creating just this communication friction. All right. So what are we saying? What will happen if we do this? If we solve this problem? Hypothesis. If we offer 3 context aware suggestions, the 50 reply times drop by greater than or equal to 10%. 10%. See the difference now? We have a baseline and a target that we can aim for. Next is the behavior contract. This is where we kill the ambiguity. First, the numbers. Proxy metric, smart reply adoption rates greater than or equal to 25%. Guardrail metric. These are base, these are hygiene, they're nothing new. But we are explicitly saying we want adoption, but not at the cost of, let's define what that cost is, zero point 0.3 percentage points versus control. So we are saying that we want adoption, but not at the cost of annoying users to the point that they actually block people. Another example, then this is crucial. A good response. Yes, sending it by 4 p.m. Pacific time. Actionable, specific. Let's do a bad response next. Bad response. What's a bad response? Something that's technically correct but useless. I will send you the things you asked for. It's robotic and vague and frankly unnecessary. You can just send things. And reject something that's forbidden. Any response mentioning confidential projects or PII. Now let's make the V plan, as I like to call it. What's a V0? How do we be scrappy? Do we need a massive LLM for V0? Probably not. V0. Hard code the top 10 most common replies. Stuff like, thank you, thanks, got it. You get the drift. As buttons. Test if people even click buttons. We can build this day's V0 in a day without even touching a GPU. Finally, no, sorry, not finally. Second from last, boundaries. Trade-offs. Accepted. We'll accept it plus 300 millisecond latency to generate better suggestion. So we're telling engineering right now, it's okay to be slightly slower if the quality is higher. That's a leadership decision. That's a strategic decision. And then finally, risks, or rather, risk avoidance. Let's call it. Kill switch. feature toggle in admin panel. No, and accessible to on-call engineers. If the model starts hallucinating insults, we kill it in 5 seconds. And there you have it. In about 5 minutes, we've turned helpful replies into a specific, measurable, safe product plan. This document is now a decision engine with an opportunity framed, a behavior contract signed, sealed, and delivered, a V plan, boundaries, and risk avoidance. Look at what we just created. We took that generic and goalless document from slide 2 and we turned it into this. We have a proxy metric that defines success, a guardrail that protects the user experience. We have an explicit trade off on latency. And most importantly, we have a clear behavior contract that tells engineering exactly what helpful means. This document is no longer a masterclass in saying nothing. It is a decision log. It is a shield against wasted work. This is how you lead. Let's bring it all home. We've covered a lot, but it all comes down to this. The modern AI spec isn't just another template. It's actually a single most powerful tool for leadership in the AI era. First, it's how you navigate the politics. You, when a stakeholder uses first principles as a rhetorical tool, you don't have to argue. Use the spec to make the trade-offs explicit. Second, it's how you clarify the chaos. Vibe coding is fun, but it can be unfocused. This spec is the insurance policy that gives your brilliant team the alignment to build with confidence. And finally, it's how you build your skills. The framework is the job. It's how you practice scrappiness, clear communication, and low ego. This is how you stop just being a manager of features and being a leader of a high performing AI team. Thank you very much. My goal today was to give you a practical framework that doesn't just help you write better docs, but to navigate the complex realities of our jobs and build the essential skills for this new AI era. Please feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. Thank you very much.